All right, in the next video here of Bachelor Nation News, we have Vanessa Esparson issuing an apology for a Facebook post she made in 2016. She is the fired contestant from this current, or I should say upcoming season of The Bachelor. Zach's season of The Bachelor will premiere, I believe, mid to end January 2023. It started filming this week, and she was one of the 31 or so contestants that were released that will be hopefuls for Zach's heart. And she did not make it to the opening limo scene. My main assumption here is that it's because of the public outcry from her opinion of the Brock Turner case, which we made a video of last week. She had an opinion that, in hindsight, I think, as she apologizes for it, came off not well. So we're going to get into this story. She could have, and again, there's no way to know due to the butterfly effect, whether she would have been a finalist or been a top 5 and then made it onto Bachelor in Paradise. My guess, though, is that this decision of her to have that opinion in 2016 is costing her. My guess, if we just wanted to play this game, is that it could cost her around $250,000. Maybe more. Maybe less. Maybe she would have become a star from this. Either way, we'll never know. That's just a different world that we're not going off in, because in this world, she was fired from the show. Reality Steve posted this on September 23rd, taking a break from posting contestants to share the disturbing Facebook post from Vanessa from 2016. A reader easily found this within 5 minutes. And I can confirm, if you search her name, even though it's not tagged to her, this post immediately comes up. So she had this post here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this was from 2016. Not defending Brock Turner, but, and of course, this already, when people watch this, go, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Now, as we know, if you follow the story, Brock Turner was found guilty of... I'm not going to share all the details here just because I don't want to get into the trigger of the story, but a judge was recalled for his lenient sentence of Brock, which almost never happens. And he has also been fired. The judge has been fired from becoming a tennis coach at some high school. So either way, there's been a lot that has come out of this trial because of the injustice, the short sentence and the slap on the wrist of the sort of, protect the boys and not the victim here of a story. And she essentially in her post said, as a girl in college, I know that it can get scary out there, and made this whole rant about how you have to take care of yourself, and you have to know that you don't put yourself into a place where you're too wasted and all that, which in and of itself is a fine thing to say, to like take care of yourself, just because we live in a world where it's not all safe. I kind of relate it to the idea of like, you don't necessarily wear a seatbelt because you're a bad driver. You wear it because other people are bad drivers, and you do it to protect yourself. Now, with that said, that's all fine. But the issue here was when she said, why is the girl also not at fault for how much she drank? Well, the girl's not at fault because she's a victim here, and it's a sad, sad story, and the victim is never at fault. That's called victim blaming. What was she wearing? Had she been drinking? Was she out late? Did she walk down the wrong alley? We live in a free country where we expect to be protected, and we expect that the rules will be upheld so that we don't have to live in some chaotic world where having a little too much to drink could lead to a life of trauma. You know what I mean? So I think we all kind of got that point down. Now, as Reality Steve shared, she posted this September 26th, and what's the date today? Is 28th. So she posted this on Monday. So chances are she was on hold to be on The Bachelor over the weekend, probably without her devices. I think what they do is they'll take all the women, put them in a hotel, take away their devices, and then most of them will make it onto the show, which of course has started filming this week. So here's what she had to say. On Twitter, she issued an apology. I want to come on and address what I said in 2016. It was horrible, insensitive, and disgusting. My intent was never to trigger hurt victims or anyone with my words or to victim blame, and I understand that's what I did. To say my choice of words were dumb means nothing considering the outcome. I take full responsibility and accountability for what I said. I apologize to everyone who was affected by my words. The 18 and 19-year-old I was in 2016 is not a reflection of the person I have grown to be today. I feel terrible and ashamed for saying it. My perspectives have grown and changed so much with the experiences living adult life provides. It is not who I am now and will never be who I am in the future. My heart goes out to everyone I hurt. I am truly sorry for the pain I caused from the bottom of my heart. Now, again, another scenario where her apology is not for me to accept. As far as apologies go, I like it in the sense that she says what her intention was, which was not to trigger or hurt victims or anyone, but she also says that she missed the mark and she takes full responsibility and accountability. It's a pretty good apology. It probably came with some form of either public relation help or somebody who really has evolved a lot in the years since she was barely a legal adult. Now, being 18 and 19, that's a weird time period, right? You're old enough to serve in the military. You can fight for your country. But as we know, the prefrontal cortex, look, I'm not a brain expert here, but dumb things happen well into people's 20s. And even if your brain is developed, you might you might consume the wrong media or live in a wrong part of the world where your ignorance is not shown. Blind spots as they exist because we don't see that they're there. The blind spot is there, meaning you don't know what you don't know. And that's not an excuse for people, but it sure does help living day to day with empathy and grace. Now, people will say, well, it doesn't matter because her impact from those statements re-triggered me or made light of situations, and it normalized a culture that was victim blaming. And I completely agree. In this pre-Me Too movement, she existed as a young adult woman who didn't have the same hindsight you could say she has now in a short 5 or 6 years. A lot can happen there. So I think it's an important conversation to have because we're going to have to reckon with this for decades and decades to come. Reckon with the idea that presidents, as they will be coming out in the, because right now we still have presidents that are in their 70s and 80s, right? So like social media didn't come out until they were long too old to post incriminating things. Now, they still have horrible voting records and have said horrible things in the past. My point being is that politically and culturally, we have this reckoning of idiots saying things in their teens and 20s and even older, and then not necessarily endorsing those ideas in the future. So it's almost like receipts from our past grappling with how that affects us in the future. Could Vanessa Esparson have been an amazing feminist voice? I have no idea where she stands and what she believes in. We can look at someone like Rachel Kirkconnell, who, of course, after going on her season of The Bachelor, Matt James season, and after it was known she was going to kind of be the quote-unquote winner, that's when a lot came out of her in antebellum South costumes, at antebellum parties, and the race conversation really took hold. If Rachel was canceled or not allowed on the show because that came out before she went on the show, we might not have somebody with 1 million or so followers using their platform to educate others about issues that they were previously blind to. So it really does beg the question about a cancel versus counsel. Now, to Reality Steve's point here, Reality Steve says, look, this information was going to come out. I'm protecting her by sharing it. I do agree. This information was going to come out. And like I said before, it's one of those butterfly effect things. I said this to Steve, where it's just like maybe she does get eviscerated for it, but also she builds 200,000 followers and makes some livelihood where she can use her platform to address what was wrong about it. Maybe that would have happened. We really don't know. But in this world, she's not going to be on the show. She'll probably never be associated with Bachelor Nation. And we'll just have to see what that does for her moving forward, but also what that does for other people that, problematic tweets and Facebook posts and messages come out. She's got a TikTok. Here it is. The comments are still turned off. So clearly, very obviously, she's going to be dealing for a while with answering to her past. And she's made her apology. Comments on the Reality Steve's page said, I believe there should be grace. We all said and did stupid things thinking we were smart or funny. Sometimes our old posts come back to haunt us and make us cringe at our old selves. We learn, we live, and we change. And then under Vanessa's page, people said, it's not too late. I'm happy to hear how much you've matured and you're taking responsibility for your actions. So happy you have been able to grow since then. Don't even... All right, so those are the different thoughts. I'd love to know what you guys think. We'll continue to have these conversations. And it's the beat goes on, folks. Let me know what you think. Follow me on Instagram at @tneals. I'm going to be live on Patreon right now. If you want to go check out the behind the scenes content, patreon.com/Dave Neal. Bye, everybody.